The following is a presentation of the City of Miamisburg, celebrating its bicentennial in 2018. Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome to the January episode of Let's Talk Miamisburg. Glad to have you with us again. I'm Gary Giles, the city's Public Information Officer. Well, 2018 is going to be a special year in Miamisburg, and we have a very special episode to get you ready. The community is celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years since its founding, and there is a year-long schedule of activities planned to commemorate this special milestone. Joining me to provide details are three members of the committee who have been hard at work planning all of these activities. From left to right on your screen, we have committee chair and a familiar face, Mayor Dick Church Jr., marketing co-chair Kim Moat, and committee co-chair Kurt Stevie. Before we get started, we want to remind you that viewers are invited to participate in our program. If you're watching us on January 10th, you are watching us live. To call in with any questions or comments that you might have on our topic, just dial 424-1679. We are also appearing on Facebook Live. If you're checking in there, we thank you, and we also invite you to call in with any questions that you might have for our guests. Hello and welcome to all three of you.
Good evening.
Appreciate you being with us. Kim and Kurt, you are both first-time guests on the program. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and why you decided to get involved with the Bicentennial Committee.
Well, it's hard to turn the mayor down when he calls you.
There you go.
I happen to have a background, a rather extensive background in the city. Spent several years as the publisher of the Miamisburg News. I also worked on the city's 175th celebration, as well as Miami Township's 175th. So you just kind of knew what we were doing there.
A natural.
A natural.
There you go.
And me, Gary, third generation Miamisburgian, and the mayor and I have a long, rich history. He hired me for my first job 47 years ago as a newspaper carrier, and we've maintained our relationship over the years as Rotarians and professional colleagues.
And Stevie might be a name that's familiar to many people in Miamisburg.
It was my grandfather who migrated down the Dixie Highway just before World War I and opened the first Ford dealership in the community. My dad then opened a couple of businesses, and what you now know as Interstate Ford was the place that we sold to Chuck George.
And it was Stevie Ford?
Correct.
Stevie Ford. Okay,
yes.
That's terrific. So a very familiar name. Mayor Church, you are chairing the committee.
Yes.
Describe the planning process that has brought us now up to 2018.
Well, Gary, it's hard to believe, but we started this process about 60, 70 people 3 years ago. And everybody was laughing. In fact, they made jokes that you're starting too early. Well, that 3 years has passed, and we're right on the cuspus of starting the celebration. At the end of January is our first event, and it has taken that long to put this celebration into where it's at today.
Let's put our first picture on the screen for the viewer at home, which will give you an idea of some of the key members of the committee that's been meeting. And this is not everyone, but this is a good-sized group. And Mayor, we've had some subcommittees formed, and how many times or how often does this group meet? What's transpired?
Okay. For the last 3 years, we've met the first or the fourth Tuesday of every month. And this month we're going to have two meetings, and I wouldn't be surprised that until after the June celebration we're going to continue at least twice a month. because we're into it.
And the meetings are open to the public?
They're open to the public. In fact, we want the public
Sure.
to show up. We want the public to be involved. It takes a lot of people to put on a celebration like we're going to do. You need volunteers to help with the parade. Every alley, every street has to have a person assigned to it. We're going to have a shuttle system of buses. There has to be volunteers on those buses. The volunteers that are going to take part in the park, we're talking several hundred people. So we want the public's input.
Sure.
And we want them to participate.
So fourth Tuesday, every month at least,
Yes,
7 p.m., Miamisburg Civic Center.
right.
So if you're interested in being involved, if you're interested in volunteering, we encourage you to come out to
They last
one
1 hour.
or
1
more
hour.
of those meetings.
I will get you out
1
in
hour,
1 hour, I
they
promise.
say.
Yep.
The Bicentennial, as I mentioned, it's going to be a year-long celebration with monthly events taking place, one special week of celebration in June. Let's preview some of those highlights that are on the calendar. We're going to start with the first two monthly events in January and February. And Kurt, I'd like you to tell us how we're going to get things started in January and February.
January 27th at the Memorial Building.
Okay.
At 7 p.m., we will have the Miamisburg Madrigal Singers, the choir, the band performing in a prelude to their national performance. That'll be the 27th of January. On February 20th, at the Baum Opera House, we have a dinner. February 20th, by the way, is the exact date of the celebration, the 200-year celebration.
Okay.
And we will have a dinner. Unfortunately, it's sold out right now, but there is a waiting list.
Okay. Let's talk about the first event first. Any admission cost?
None.
Okay. Let's reiterate the date and time.
January 27th, Memorial Building, 7 p.m.
High school musical groups involved with that.
Yes.
And Mayor, I understand that you're going to make your acting debut that night also. Is that true?
I'm going to be portraying Dr. John Hole,
Okay.
or Dr. John Treon.
Okay.
Zachariah Hole is going to be portrayed by Jim Schnapp. And Zachariah Hole was our first person that came to this area. He built a stockade along the Great Miami River, and that was in 1797. I, or Dr. Treon, did not arrive in Miamisburg until 1811. But we're going to kind of give a little bit of history.
Sure.
Get the people that really are new to Miamisburg, that really don't know anything about the community, kind of give them a little bit of history and lead them up to the February 20th actual day that Miamisburg became Miamisburg.
Kurt, let me follow up on the Founders Day dinner in February. You said it's sold out.
It is.
What kind of program are you putting together that night for the audience?
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be a celebration of the city, and of course we'll have the benediction and we'll have the pledge. But what we're going to do as the highlight is several of our residents have created a video, a 30-minute video called "The River Runs Through,"
Okay.
and we're going to debut that for our audience.
That's terrific. This video, have you seen it? Have you seen the
Yes.
the production? Okay, so if someone wants to see this video characterization of the history of Miamisburg, they need to be there that night?
And
Or-
probably it will, our goal is to put it on sale later after that February 20th
Okay.
event. But the Historical Society will be doing that.
Look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing that. You're watching Let's Talk Miamisburg, a production of the Miami Valley Communications Council here on Spectrum Cable, and I'm Gary Giles. We're glad to have you with us. Our topic for the entire 30 minutes this month is the city's bicentennial celebration, which is going to be taking place throughout 2018, and still time to get on board with a phone call. If you have any questions, our number is 424-1679. So there will be some type of event every month, but let's take a look now at the featured week of celebration when you're really going to shine a spotlight on the bicentennial. It'll be June 16th through the 23rd And Kim, why don't you walk us through some details on the daily schedule that week as we begin to put the calendar on the screen for the viewer at home?
Sure. The great thing about our schedule is that it will kick off along with the Alumni Association. As we know, our high school has the oldest active Alumni Association, and it will be kicked off the same weekend as alumni. We are encouraging people to come in for alumni and spend the whole week, make a family vacation of it, and every day there will be something for everyone in the family to enjoy.
We're going to talk through that in just a moment. We've got a
Sure.
first phone call from the public, so let's listen in on them. Hi, welcome to Let's Talk Miamisburg. You have a question?
Yes, since it's Miamisburg Bicentennial, will the Spring Fling Festival continue as usual?
Yes, it will. The Spring Fling will be a smaller version of the parade, but yes, they plan on having activities in Veterans Park, just like they always do.
All right.
No changes. Thank you for calling. Let's put that schedule back on the screen for the viewer and let Kim begin to talk us through some of the highlights.
Sure. The first day that we open on the 16th will obviously open with a parade. Miamisburg loves a good parade. So we'll have a parade. There will be opening ceremonies. The dinner dance will be held that evening for the Alumni Association. The time capsule from 1968 will be opened and displayed for everyone to see from that 150th celebration. We'll also have the Ohio State Alumni Band there, the U.S. Air Force Band of Flight, Pirates of the Caribbean will be on center stage that night, so that'll be big fun. We will also start off a two-day event called Drums on the Miami, which will honor our Native American heritage here. That will be at Beekler Field, and again, that'll be a two-day event. There will be lectures, there will be dances, there'll be music, there will be lots of items for you to look at, a great education opportunity. Also, CPAM, our children's theater, will be showing Mary Poppins at the Baum Opera House that weekend. That will be their final weekend, so that'll be another great opportunity for families. Sunday will be our Religious Heritage Day. We have a great number of active churches in the city, and they are bringing in 2 Christian comedians that afternoon, as well as a couple of gospel events. So there'll be a great deal of entertainment there, another family-oriented activity. There will be children's activities every afternoon. There will be children's activities at the center stage. We'll have a barbershop quartet, and the band Be Caged, which is very popular around here, will close out that night. Monday is going to be Pioneer Day. That's going to be hosted by our Historical Society. Pioneer Village will be open. There'll be special tours, center stage entertainment. Again, will include children. There'll be the Vintage Ramblers, the Night Magic Band, and from the Blue Note, we're bringing in Noah Wotherspoon, who's very popular down there, so that's sure to be a great night of entertainment. Tuesday's going to be our business day. That'll honor all the businesses that call the Star City home. There'll be special sales and events that will highlight those businesses. In addition, there'll be Ryan Lakes, the Hathaways Touch, and a special reunion of Bear Creek Band, which was another popular local band back in the 80s. They're getting together strictly for this, and a lot of people are excited. The Masonic Lodge will be hosting an evening with Mark Twain at the Baum Opera House. Tickets are $5 for that event. Stephen Holland will be appearing as Mark Twain with his thoughts and commentaries about those times. Wednesday is going to be our Youth Day, and traditionally that's just a wonderful event. There will be special events in the park. There'll be special events at the swimming pool, special entertainment again, and that's going to be planned by our Parks and Recreation Department. CPAM is going to do a special appearance in the park. And this is also that night. We are very blessed and very honored to have Kettering Health Network, Sycamore Medical Center in our community. They are marking 40 years of Sycamore in Miamisburg, and they are going to be hosting a very special entertainer coming in, yet to be announced.
Okay.
That one's still a secret.
Okay.
But that one will definitely be one of the highlights of the
It'll
week.
be a national entertainer.
Okay.
Thursday is going to be Our Ladies' Day, which has been a tradition that's been held at every birthday celebration for Miamisburg. They have a golf outing, there's a euchre tournament, there's a fashion show, there's a luncheon. There's just a myriad of things being offered that day for the ladies. We'll also have the Star City Dulcimers, AQK, and Alexis Gomez will be on center stage. Friday is going to be our municipal day. Saturday, our last day, is going to be the biggest celebration with our greatest parade. We're also we'll have a Civil War regimental band, kangaroo court, our closing ceremonies, and the grand finale will again be the Dayton Philharmonic concert band, along with a fireworks display over our river.
And all these activities and events are taking place in Riverfront Park,
Right.
off of Main Street behind the downtown business district.
The only exception to locations would be Drums on the Miami.
Sure.
And that will be at Beekler
And
Field.
Mark Twain.
Sure.
Which will be at Baum.
And, yeah, Mark Twain would be at Bob.
Kim, let me ask you real quickly, there are
Sure.
two ways that you're encouraging the public to participate besides just attending these events and supporting these events. One is called Brothers of the Brush, and the other one is encouraging people to wear vintage clothing
Yes.
from the early 1800s. And I'm going to put a picture on the screen from 25 years ago of some of that vintage clothing. But tell us a little bit about what Brothers of the Brush is and why the clothing emphasis.
Brothers of the Brush is another tradition that goes back to 1968
Okay.
for the 150th.
Okay.
Gentlemen in the community are encouraged to grow beards, mustaches. You have to buy a license to do so, or if you are a little more follically challenged, you have to buy a license to not grow one. You can be thrown in our kangaroo jail if you are an offender against said licensure.
Okay.
It's just a great event.
Just a fun way to
it's a
celebrate.
There'll
Fun.
be some beard contests
Right.
that will be held on
Okay.
the stage as well. That's going to be on Friday evening.
Okay.
So that's just a lot of fun.
And who are some of
A
these
lot
people
fun.
we're looking at on the screen here?
Oh, on the screen.
You don't have to give me names.
Well, it's city council,
That
I can
looks
tell
like
you
city
that,
council from then.
of 1990.
Several city
Six.
council members from 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Bob Bell, Paul Gutschel, Dan Kirshner, Bill Fuller, Mayor Mears, myself, Matty Ransdell, Hazel Isley, Sue Braun, our city manager at the time, John Wyhofer, our police chief, Tom Skank, and our assistant city manager, Dave Collinsworth.
So city council at that time getting in the act with the old style clothing, and I'm sure they'll do the same again
And
this
that's in
year.
front of the Peerless Pantry.
Okay.
And we do encourage the outfits. As a matter of fact, we have a special sewing class that is scheduled for January the 20th. That's going to
Okay.
be at St. Jacobs.
Okay.
So if you need some help or you just want to hire somebody, that's your place to go.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Kurt, I know the Bicentennial Committee wants the whole year to be memorable for the community. To help keep those memories alive, some merchandise is being produced. As we look at a photo of some of those keepsakes that are available, tell us about some of these products and how they can be purchased by the public.
Who can resist a bobblehead of the mayor? For $25, you too, yes, can have a bobblehead.
Which you see right there on the right of your screen, of course, on the photo, but we are also proud to have one right here on the set of Let's Talk Miamisburg. Very good likeness.
He's
Bobbling
even
away.
been in church services.
There
It's
you
been
go.
in church services.
That and among many other items are for sale at the Market Square building in the center of the city. And it's worth noting that by the end of February, we will release a game called Miamisburgopoly.
Okay.
It's a replication of the world famous Monopoly game that features all sorts of businesses from around the community.
Would I assume that some of these products are going to be for sale at the events too throughout,
yes.
Yes.
throughout the year? Okay. So beyond the events, they're available to look at and purchase at the Market Square building, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's right next to the Hamburger Wagon in the center of downtown. Do you know when, what time, what days,
Yes.
anything like that?
Wednesdays 1 to 4,
Okay.
Saturdays 1 to 4, and then in June we will have a much expanded schedule to accommodate the festivities.
Sure. So great keepsakes. You mentioned earlier that eventually the specially produced video will be for sale, plus this great game, very unique, Miamisburgopoly. Am I pronouncing that correct?
You're correct, and we only made 1,000 of them.
Okay.
So, and we've already sold a handful of them. So, come on down, place your order, and we'll reserve a game for you.
Limited edition.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it
There
is.
you go. There you go.
Yep.
Mayor, bicentennial activities are being funded by private donations.
Yes.
I know the generosity of our community is something that you've always been proud of.
And I couldn't be more proud today, the way our merchants and our citizens, corporate businesses are coming together to make this thing possible. You got to remember, in most communities on a celebration of this sort, let's take now the general fund of the city. In this case, that's not going to happen. We have set a budget of $250,000. We are 2/3 of the way there. And we are trying to make everything as free as we can. There are some, if there's food involved, you got to pay for the food.
Tickets for the carnival.
Tickets for the carnival, the Masonic, they have to pay the individual to come in, so that's out of their treasury. So $5 you can't beat a night with Mark Twain. That's pretty cheap.
Sure.
So, but anyway, we've raised quite a bit of money, and we have contracted with Cox Media Group, and they are promoting our event and contacting the merchants. And instead of that money coming to Cox, it comes to us and we pay the bill. So we're hoping to raise money that way also.
Well, if any viewer, any business is interested in contributing to this great year-long activity, event, festivities, what should they do?
They should make a check to Bicentennial 2018.
Okay.
And they can get it to any of us, or they can take it to the Farmers and Merchants Bank. Sean Mars is the president of the bank, is our finance chairman. We will accept anything from $1 on up. It's hard to believe, but I had an individual come in, a lifelong resident of the community, and has committed $50,000 and does not want his name mentioned. It's an anonymous gift, but that's how Miamisburg affects people. If you've lived here any time, it's a great community to live in, and they see the great things happening here. They're proud of their community, they're proud of their school, and this gift of $50,000, it really floored me, and but we'll take any amount.
Sure.
Any amount.
Don't mention the name on television.
Oh, I'm
okay?
not going to mention now.
Just want to stop you.
We don't even know.
They don't
Okay.
even know.
We don't
I
even know.
can't even let it slip.
Well, the city has stepped up also in several ways to just maybe do some improvements in and around the downtown area, just to get the community looking as good as it possibly can for all the events and crowds that are going to come with those events next year.
We are expecting 30,000 people, especially on Wednesday, according to who Sycamore Medical Center brings in. as entertainment. We're going to have a lot of people come into
You
Miamisburg.
bet we are.
The city manager right up front said, we've got to, if we expect our merchants to paint and clean up their buildings, we've got to do the same. We have painted the Market Square building, we painted our annex building. We're going to be putting new banners up. We're doing everything we can to make Miamisburg more presentable than it is today. We
Sure.
want to put our best foot forward. So, and we're seeing that the merchants are coming forward and they are painting their buildings. And so this is another fun thing that is happening in the community.
And there are some new improvements, new round of improvements at Riverfront Park where most
New
of these
road.
activities are going to be taking place. So that'll be all finished and shined up
Right.
for the summertime as well. Mayor, our time is growing short. I know 2018 means a great deal to you. Do you have any parting thoughts?
Well, you know, history means different things to different people.
Sure.
I mentioned we have citizens that have lived third or fourth generation in our community. We've got families that date back to the founding in 1811, 1818, and so this is a time to feel that community pride, get involved, learn more about your city, be proud of your city, and look forward to the future. We're going to dwell a little bit on the past, but you know, Miamisburg is a community that takes on challenges, and we're going to be moving forward to the next 200 celebration.
Let me get in a quick question for you that comes to us on Facebook. Is the time capsule going to be dug up and another replaced near the old tavern? Do any of you know anything about that?
The time capsule will be exhumed from Veterans Park, and in all probability, it'll be entombed at the new Riverfront Park.
Right.
Okay. Do you know of a time capsule near the old tavern? I imagine they're talking about the Gebhardt Tavern.
I'm not aware of
Okay.
one.
There's no time capsule there
Not
that
that
I'm
you're
aware
aware
of.
of.
No.
Okay.
Not the word.
Okay.
The one from 1968 was in Veterans Park,
Okay.
otherwise known as Library Park.
Park.
The one from the 175th as well.
Yeah.
Kim, let's close by giving viewers a way to learn more and stay updated on bicentennial activities throughout the year. You've got about 20 seconds.
Okay, we have on the web, we are Miamisburg200.com. On Facebook, Miamisburg 200th. And email is Miamisburg200@cityofmiamisburg.org.
Thank you all so much for being with me and providing all that information.
Thank you.
Mayor Dick Church Jr., Kim Moat, Kurt Stevie with us on Let's Talk Miamisburg. I'm Gary Giles. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at a bicentennial event coming up soon.